Hello everyone, welcome to Realty Insights. I am Mohsin Ayub and we have here again Sanaz Regi with us from Homes for Life, who would be discussing about the investment opportunities and the mistakes that investors and end users do when they are looking for the right home.
Well, Mohsin, I would like to put this question, the answer, into 4 points so it'll be easier to refer back to. Basically, first-time home buyers do make some very integral mistakes. One of them, the first one, being the fact that they do not consider the price per square foot concept. The second thing is that they compromise on the wrong area. And the third thing is that they do not make sufficient research on the community and the locality. And the fourth thing is that they do not have sufficient information about the additional expenses that they have to bear. Okay, so elaborating on the first point, which is that the first-time buyers, they miss out on the price per square foot concept, I would like to walk you through an example to make you understand exactly how it works. So let's consider you have a studio from one developer, which the size is about 280 square foot, and the price per square foot is 1,500 dirhams per square foot. So, which obviously you're not looking at, you're looking at the ticket price. And I'll come back to the ticket price in the end. First I explain how it's working. So, so that comes around to 420,000. That's the ticket price of this property, and the size is 280 square foot. So say there's another developer in the market who's offering you a studio with the size of 450 square foot. Price per square foot is 1,000 dirhams. So it comes around to 450,000 dirhams. Now, the difference is about only 30,000. So you have a 420,000 property, you have a 450,000 property, and you're like, you know what, this is cheaper, I'll go for the 430,000. But the problem is you're not considering the fact that the size difference is massive. You have a size difference of about, this is 450, that is 280. That's about 170 square foot of size difference. That's almost 40%. So 30,000 for a studio, which is so much larger than the other one, is a very fair amount to pay, in my opinion. And that is a fact that you definitely should not ignore, because you're going to live in that property, and even if you're going to rent it out, somebody's going to live in it. Space matters. Oh, okay. And furthermore, pertaining to this topic, people also ignore or they might just be confused with the fact that there is net area and there is gross area. So make sure when you're comparing the two properties to each other from different developers, or even the same developer, different properties, that you consider the same net or gross. So net versus net or gross versus gross, because gross means that it is your actual livable area, and the common areas, terraces, balconies are added to it, and that's your gross area. Your net area will be your actual livable area. So it makes more sense to actually consider the net area and compare that to the other developer. So make sure your comparison is based on net area versus net area. Well, coming to the second point, compromising on the wrong area. Now what happens is people usually, they look at their budget, and sometimes they're like, you know what, it's exceeding our budget, let's compromise on the area, let's go for an area which is not that developed, which is not that mature, which doesn't have easy access. Now, easy access is very important for everyone in Dubai, because everybody's working and they need to commute. Or they choose an area which doesn't have a potential for price appreciation, or has a potential for actually price depreciation. So this is something that needs to be really considered. Go for an area that is safe for your investment and even for your home. And it should be mature, at least to a certain level. I understand that there's a lot of developments. Be living in a place which is going to be having construction all around it for the next 4 to 5 years. You want it to mature in a decent amount of time, because otherwise it's not going to be a very good experience living in that area or even renting it out to someone. So that's something that needs to be considered. And apart from that, people usually tend to hurry to get into a closure. Now, the reason can be anything. It could be a family matter, it could be traveling, it could be an agent pressuring you. Now, I personally believe that if you're buying something, it matters. So take your time and buy it only when you're 100% content in your heart that, this is what I want to do. But once you decide, then you shouldn't be having double thoughts, because then it's not going to help you make the right decision. I personally don't push my clients. I tell them, take your time. This is what you have. Whenever you're ready, you go ahead and you make an offer. Because, honestly, I believe what is meant for you will come to you. But you should know when to make the right decision. Don't hurry yourself, but also don't delay yourself. So, it should be with the peace of mind. You're buying a house. You should buy it and you should feel happy about it by the end of the day. Okay, point number 3 builds up on the second point that I discussed, basically. So people do not have adequate information, or they do not do adequate research on the locality and the community that they are going to invest in or reside in. This is very important. You need to find out what other projects are there, because every project will be supporting the other one. Do you have any nice project which is one of the landmarks of Dubai around that area? Because that really helps. That's what Dubai is all about. And then you have, you want to go in, as I said, you want to go into a development or into a community which is mature, which has the basic facilities that you need. You need grocery, you need gym, you need schooling for your kids, they should be nearby. You need extracurricular activities, basketball, tennis court, a lot of things. So you want a community which has all of this. You don't want to live in the middle of nowhere, and then you have to make a commute of about 30 minutes or more every day just to get your grocery or just to get your kids to some kind of activity or school, maybe an hour away. That's not going to help. That's going to burn your gas. Of course, that is an additional cost. That's going to waste your time. So that wouldn't really help. You would want all of this in the community that you're going to invest in. So this is also a very important factor. Again, the price, you have to compare the price between the off-plan and the ready property. So in that same area, you have to look into the fact that is the off-plan and the ready the same price, which is okay, that's healthy, or is the ready less than the off-plan? Because that wouldn't be healthy then, to go for an off-plan. This makes you understand that do you want to go into an off-plan property in that area, or do you want to invest into a ready property in that area? So make sure you do that research, because there is sometimes a difference. You'll be surprised. So that's also a factor that you should consider. And payment plan options. Payment plan options are also very important. If you're going for off-plan. If you're going for off-plan, you need to understand that the easier, the longer the payment plan tenure is, it helps you. And there are some post-handover payment plans as well that are really, really amazing. They can help you a lot. And one more thing that I want to mention, which I do mention to my clients, because see, most of the people who are here are families. They have kids. So what is your preference? Do you want to give your children a multicultural experience? Or do you want them to feel like they're home, they're living in your home country? Even though you're far away from home, but you're living in your home country. So what is your preference? Based on that, you need to find out what communities are residing in that area, what people from which country are residing in that area. So that helps you choose. And again, as I said, it's on your preference. What do you want your child to experience while they're growing up? What kind of socializing do you want them to be engaged in? And an experienced agent can help you with this. You can ask the agent and they can always inform you about what kind of nationalities are residing in that particular community. So yeah, that is also a very important point. The last point that I would like to discuss is the fact that buyers don't have adequate information about the additional expenses that are incurred or that are there while purchasing a property. So, and they find out about it at the 11th hour, which creates panic, and because obviously funds will sometimes not match to what they were expecting, and these are large chunks of funds that need to be taken into consideration. So I'll explain it furthermore. So basically, if you're going for a ready property, which is a resale, that means an individual has bought it off from the developer and now he's selling it off, then you have to pay commission. Commission is paid to the agent who's got the property for you. But if you're buying an off-plan property from the developer who has made the project, then you don't pay commission. In that case, there's no commission charged. Now, apart from that, there is title deed registration. This applies to both cases, off-plan and ready. It's called uqud in the case of off-plan. It's called title deed in the case of the ready property. So that is there for both of the cases. But if it's a ready property, it's called title deed, and if it's an off-plan, it's called uqud. Then you have to pay land department fee. Again, applicable to both cases. Land department fee is 4%. There is no negotiation on that, and it's standard for everybody. So you have to pay the land department fee, and it's a large amount, 4%, that you have to keep in mind that you have to pay in any purchase that you make in Dubai. In some cases, developers are offering to pay half of that amount and taking that burden off the buyer, but that's for off-plan only, not the ready. And NOC charges, registration charges, these are some other costs that are there. So you can always ask your agent, and the agent can provide you the whole list of what are the additional charges that you will have to pay. So make sure you ask your agent about these charges. Now, apart from that, there is mortgage fee. So if you're going for a mortgage, make sure that you ask your bank or your agent the mortgage fee charges. I've had cases where there was a transfer, and at the last, not the 11th hour, I would say at the 12th hour, just right about if the transfer is going to happen, they find out that there's a mortgage fee that needs to be paid. So if you're getting a mortgage done, ask your bank, ask your agent to tell you exactly how much the mortgage amount is going to be that you have to pay them. So yeah, this is also an important part or an important transactional fact that you need to take into consideration. So basically, these are the 4 major mistakes that first-time home buyers make when they're trying to get a property. So there has been a tremendous amount of influx of end users in the market today. And for an end user, these points really, really matter. If you need any further elaboration, if you need any further assistance on the points that I discussed, and you'd be interested to know more or to seek our assistance in getting you the right home, please feel free to call us anytime you want on the numbers provided on the screen. We have agents that speak from languages all over the world, and we can assist you very easily with any queries that you might have.